The next procedure is for each owner of the cricket to tease his crickets with tease grass through the panes on the canopy cover. Crickets are also like our human being. They have mood or emotions, and those who are in a bad mood are called unhappy, and those who are not happy are not allowed to enter the duel. If the owner of the cricket finds that his crickets are unhappy, then he has the right to withdraw from the fighting cricket. This is the last chance for both sides to quit the fight. To tease the crickets with cricket grass is to stimulate the cricket's fighting spirit to reach a climax, just like a basketball player warms up before the official start of the game. When both sides of the cricket agree that their crickets can enter the cricket fight, the referee removes the tissue paper covering both sides of the cricket. As soon as referee removes the cotton paper covering both sides of the shuttle, both sides can see the other party's crickets, but at this time neither side has the right to withdraw from the cricket fight because the mule and the horse have already been pulled out. Of course, if some people cherish their crickets very much, they also know that their crickets are likely to lose to other side according to their taste, and they do not want to see their crickets bitten by the other party's crickets, and they can also forcibly quit, but the bet is to lose. Once the covering paper is removed from the shuttle, the referee immediately pulls up the gate from the middle of the shuttle, and neither of the participants is allowed to touch their crickets with tease grass. But the crickets of both sides will automatically fight according to the sound or smell of the other cricket. Since the crickets who usually come to participate in the fight are crickets of better varieties, usually as long as the referee pulls up the middle gate, the crickets on both sides will rush towards each other like arrows from the bowstring, so a wonderful fight begins. By the time Xiao Qing had introduced us to the basic rules and procedures of cricket fighting, the people who had come to participate in the cricket fighting had arrived one after another, and Uncle Kuei had returned. In addition to Mr. Shu, who came with Uncle Kuei last time at my house, there was also an old man named Mr. Wang. Listening to Xiao Qing, Shu and Wang are both old-timers in the cricket circle, where Uncle Kuei and they are. Uncle Kuei invited Shu and Wang, mainly to ask one of them to be a referee and the other to be a mover. I'll talk about that later. Many of the rest of the visitors knew each other, and they were talking about their experience in raising crickets while greeting each other. Interestingly, there are multiple streams among the people who participate in the cricket fight, and they are also divided into different factions. The big factions are the South and the North, and under the big factions they are divided into small factions and small circles. Although it seems that the small crickets are biting in the shuttle, it is actually the cricket owners participating in the fight who are secretly competing. As a result, there are all kinds of conspiracies, such as Tianji horse racing, which casts a shadow on the seemingly fair fighting cricket. In Uncle Kuei's city, there are 3 circles of cricket fight society. Each circle has a cricket field. Uncle Kuei's rules in this field are relatively fair. The atmosphere is relatively harmonious, so it attracts a lot of outer circles, expatriates to participate in the fight, including a group of Zhuzhou guests to Uncle Kuei their arena to participate in the fight several times a year. My cousin and I were involved in the volunteer work of fighting crickets for the first time, and Xiao Qing assigned us the relatively simple task of pairing overweight crickets. When the roll call is completed, the cricket owners in the front row are invited to sit around the 8 immortals in the center of the hall, and the people in the back can only stand in the back and watch. Sitting in the center closest to the shuttle are the referee Mr. Wang and Mr. Shu, who move hands, and sitting near the 2 ends of the shuttle are the first pair of cricket owners who are ready to tear apart. At this time, I listen to Mr. Wang's loud and protracted singing. The general is in the shuttle. Nothing is tilde 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 unhappy. And everyone in the hall immediately fell silent, and everyone quietly watched the beginning of the cricket fight. My cousin and I were even more afraid to stand in the crowd because it was the first time we had seen this kind of formal-scale cricket. As mentioned earlier, after using a guide cage to introduce crickets from the tank into the shuttle, the 2 sides pressed flowers, and then used the cricket grass to stir the excitation and other procedures. The referee Mr. Wang pulled up the shuttle gate, and the first pair of crickets bit together. The cricket fighting scenes we saw at Uncle Kuei's house were very different from the cricket fights between our children. Our children's crickets usually bite for 3 or 4 rounds, and if they bite for 7 or 8 rounds, they can always decide the winner. And many of the crickets that were brought to Uncle Kuei's house to participate in the fight had to go through more than a dozen rounds to decide the winner. The various fighting scenes of the crickets also opened my eyes. Some crickets are fast, open their big teeth and attack all the way. Some crickets are static breaking, and use their hind legs to support the edge of the shuttle to borrow force. And some crickets will use the long-distance running movement combat method like our human strategy and tactics, from one end of the shuttle to the other end of the shuttle to attack the opponent in front of it. The most cunning type of cricket is that after entering the shuttle, it does not stay on the ground of the shuttle, but jumps on the top of the canopy of the shuttle and hangs upside down on the beam of the shuttle, just like some of our human beings who can do martial arts jump to the beam of the roof. And when the opponent cannot find the object of the battle and gradually approaches, then jumps off the top of the shuttle to kill the killer. When one of the crickets on both sides of the fight is defeated and retreats due to its inability to support it, and is chased and beaten by the opponent's opponent, the owner of the cricket participating in the fight has the right to ask the referee to drop the gate at any time. At this time, the moving hand first uses a special teasing cricket grass to divide the cricket tease that is glued together to both sides of the shuttle, similar to the referee in a boxing match separating the two boxers, and then the referee lowers the gate of the shuttle. As soon as the referee dropped the gate, the crickets on both sides of the battle were separated from each other. When the cricket side in the fight is temporarily defeated and isolated, the cricket of the temporarily winning side often flaps its wings and sings. A common way to tell which side of the cricket fight is to see which side can still chirp after isolation, and when the hand is teasing with crickets, it can still open its teeth. This is where the role of moving hands comes into play. There are the following scenarios for reference. 1. One side of the cricket flaps its wings and chirps while the other does not. Move hands will use a special teasing cricket grass. This grass can only be made after several years of fumigation, and the crickets generally want to bite when they touch it. To the cricket that is defeated, and do not chirp, and carefully tease it from slow to fast until it slowly re-arouse the fighting spirit of the defeated cricket. When the cricket owner approves of it, the referee will open the middle gate before moving on to the second round of dueling. This kind of reversal of defeat into victory does not happen every time, but it happens often. If it still don't open its teeth after being teased by moving hand, it is generally considered defeated. But if the owner of the cricket insists on opening the gate again for verification, it is also possible. 2. Crickets on both sides chirp at the same time. At this time, the situation is relatively simple, and the move hand only needs to tease the crickets on both sides a little, and let the crickets rest for a while, and then pull up the middle gate and fight again. 3. Crickets on both sides do not chirp at the same time. After moving hands to tease the crickets on both sides, if one side can chirp and open its teeth and the other party can't, then the party that can't is considered a defeat. Of course, this is the same as in 1. The owner of the cricket can request to open the gate for verification. If both parties are tweeting at the same time, this is like 2. The moving hand is usually done by someone who is very experienced in playing with crickets. He knows how to use the best way to tease a cricket who is about to lose to revive his fighting spirits. When encountering 3. In the case of unhappiness, as mentioned above, the referee will often ask both hosts if they want to open the luau. What is a luau? One of the characteristics of crickets is that when they hear the other parties chirping, they are easy to get angry and arouse their fighting spirit, just like we humans are easy to get angry when we hear others scolding us. There is a species of cricket that is particularly good at chirp, but not fighting. This cricket is called a luau. When encountering a cricket that participates in the fight is not happy or above 3 case, in this case, a common method is to keep teasing the luau in the jar next to the shuttle so that it keeps chirping, which is often very effective. As mentioned earlier, all the crickets that come to the cricket arena are good, and the competition between masters will have unexpected results as long as there is a slight difference. There is an electrician, Master Jin, and everyone calls him Lao Jin. Lao Jin didn't have much theoretical knowledge about crickets, but he had been playing crickets for several years. The crickets that Lao Jin brought to participate in the fight were all winners after a few rounds of fighting in his neighborhood, so Lao Jin's winning rate was still good. Once Lao Jin lost the cricket fight, but Lao Jin didn't want to admit it, insisting that Uncle Kuo's cricket fighting field was cheating. Later, Mr. Wang took Lao Jin's cricket and looked at it carefully and said, "Your cricket is a good variety, close to the crabshell green. If you take care of it well, it is possible to win a regional champion this year. But you are using it fighting too early, and there is still more than half a month before its maturity. In addition, its teeth were injured before the fight, and it always bit the side way around when it participated in the fight. With a few words, Lao Jin was convinced. The one that impressed me the most was one named Uncle Wen. Uncle Wen is, as his name suggests, polite and elegant. When others come to fight crickets, they all pack a big bag with various utensils, such as large cans and small cans, but Uncle Wen only brings 3 bamboo pipes, which contain 3 crickets for fighting. But the win rate is very high, basically an average of 2 wins and 1 loss. In a place where there are many masters, it is not easy to achieve such a winning rate, so there are often acquaintances who joke with Uncle Wen. How about I will exchange the general in my tank for the prisoner in your bamboo tube? It can be seen that most of Uncle Wen's crickets are of the highest quality. Uncle Wen is humble, and after winning, he always said humbly to the other party, "I am fortunate to win once, and we will meet next time." But once, a group of crickets from Zhuzhou brought a cricket and fought with Uncle Wen's crickets, which was the most tragic cricket fight I have ever seen in my life.
Dear friends, this episode of Brother Zhang's story has been broadcasted. The next episode will continue to publish 2 days later at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't forget to hit like it and press subscribe button before you go. Thank you.